Scorpio, pause, because this Tuesday, December 16th, doesn't feel like a normal day on the calendar. It feels like a hinge in the timeline, the kind of quiet turning point that doesn't announce itself with fireworks, but changes everything by shifting what you can tolerate, what you can see, and what you will no longer accept. If you've been carrying that strange pressure lately, the sense that something is about to happen without being able to name what, this message is for the part of you that already knows, not the part that overthinks, the part that listens with the body first. The part that has survived the fog and still kept walking, even when no one clapped for your progress. Because 3 blessings are aligning around you now, and the reason they feel fated is simple. They match the version of you you've been becoming in silence. This is Scorpio energy at its real frequency. Not drama, not chaos, not cheap spectacle. This is depth becoming direction. This is the inner tide finally turning in your favor after a season of spiritual compression, emotional pruning, and exhausting restraint. You may have felt like you were living inside a sealed room, doing the work, doing the healing, doing the right thing, while life kept delaying the external evidence. But Scorpio, delays are not always denials. Sometimes they are sacred design, because what's coming next can't land safely in the hands of the old you, and you're not the old you anymore. Tuesday is a threshold, and thresholds don't care how patient you've been. They care how ready you are. The first blessing arriving is an inner recalibration so clear it will feel like someone wiped a mirror you forgot was covered in fog. A mental clarity, a nervous system exhale, a sudden return to your own intuition, clean, direct, and impossible to argue with. You might notice it as a shift in sleep, dreams that carry symbols, or a single sentence someone says that hits your chest like truth. You might notice it as the urge to clean your space, rearrange your room, delete old messages, stop stalking answers that never fed you, and finally choose peace like it's a discipline. This is not random motivation. This is Scorpio awakening, your spirit reclaiming its seat at the table. The tarot energy around this first blessing feels like temperance standing over your inner waters, not to dilute you, but to steady you. Temperance doesn't ask you to become less intense. It asks you to become more precise. It turns your intensity into medicine instead of a storm, and that's why this first blessing matters, because it makes the next 2 blessings safe to receive without spiraling. So if Tuesday feels emotional, that doesn't mean you're breaking. It may mean you're finally unlocking. Sometimes clarity arrives with tears because your body releases the tension it used to hold in order to survive. Sometimes you cry, not because you're sad, but because you're relieved you don't have to keep pretending you're fine. If you've been feeling too much, Scorpio, let me say it in a way your nervous system can believe. You were never too much. You were simply too honest for environments built on denial. And Tuesday brings a quiet, spiritual correction, like the universe returning your power to you in a language you understand. Certainty without noise. The second blessing is relational, but not in the superficial way people usually mean. This isn't a promise of a perfect romance. This is something more Scorpio, a soul-level resonance that shifts how you connect, who you allow close, and what you stop negotiating away. There's an energy of recognition arriving, someone seeing you without requiring you to perform, someone meeting you where you actually live, not where you pretend to be. This could be romantic, yes. It could also be a collaborator, a mentor, a friend, a family member, returning with a softer voice, or even a surprising moment where you finally see yourself with compassion instead of judgment. Scorpio, sometimes the fated connection, isn't a person who enters, it's the part of you that comes back home. Tarot-wise, this second blessing feels like the 2 of Cups, but not the fairy tale version. The real version, the one that says mutual respect, emotional honesty, energetic reciprocity. It also carries the imprint of the High Priestess, Not because you need more mystery, but because you already know what's true. On Tuesday, you will be asked to trust your knowing more than your fear. If someone reaches out, pay attention to how your body responds, not your fantasies, your body. If it tightens, that's information. If it softens, that's information too. Your intuition has been trained by survival, and now it's being retrained by safety. If you've been single and tired of repeating the same emotional loop, this is a week where something changes in your pattern, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. You might meet someone through a familiar thread: family, community, a mutual connection, a work situation, an event you almost didn't attend, or a message you almost ignored. And if it's not new, it may be someone old returning with a new energy. Less ego, less confusion, more truth. The blessing here isn't someone chooses you. The blessing is that you choose yourself so firmly that only what aligns can remain. That's Scorpio power, not controlling people but controlling access. Now let's talk about the third blessing, the one your practical mind has been begging for, the material opening. This is the part tied to money, work, opportunity, resources, and long-term stability. And Scorpio, I need you to hear this clearly. This isn't about instant riches or unrealistic promises. This is about a door that makes sense, a door that matches your skills, your depth, and your capacity to hold responsibility. The tarot energy here feels like the Ace of Pentacles paired with the Six of Pentacles, an offering and an exchange, a tangible opening and the restoration of balance. Something owed, something delayed, something that finally becomes visible in the physical world. This could show up as a message, a call, a document, an approval, a client, a proposal, an unexpected refund, an opportunity that lands because you didn't quit when things were quiet. It can also show up as a strategic insight, your mind suddenly seeing a better path, what to cut, what to invest in, where you've been leaking energy, and where your value has been underpriced. If you've been waiting for a sign, Tuesday may not hand you a billboard. It may hand you a clue. And Scorpio, you are the sign reader of the zodiac. You don't need the whole story to move. You need the true thread. Astrologically, the vibe of Tuesday is about fate meeting readiness, not luck floating down like a feather, but alignment clicking into place because you've done the inner work that most people avoid. When Pluto energy is active in a Scorpio reading, it's never about easy comfort, it's about transformation that sticks, the kind of change that reorganizes your identity from the inside out. And once that happens, the external world starts responding, not because the universe suddenly got nicer, but because you finally stopped shrinking your frequency to match environments that were never meant to hold you. So here's what I want you to do, Scorpio, before Tuesday arrives. Treat your energy like something sacred, not fragile, sacred. That means reducing noise, protecting your sleep, drinking water like it's a ritual, eating grounding foods that support your body's stability. Dark leafy greens, warm soups, turmeric, beans, seeds, fruit that replenishes you instead of spiking you. Your body is your spiritual instrument, and clarity comes faster when the instrument is cared for. Even 10 minutes of stillness can bring your field back into coherence. Place your hand on your heart and breathe slowly enough that your mind gets bored. That's when your intuition starts speaking again. If you feel called to do a simple ritual on Tuesday, keep it clean and powerful. Light a candle, not as superstition, as focus. Write down 3 things you are releasing: 1 fear, 1 old belief, 1 relationship pattern. Then write down 3 things you are ready to receive: clarity, aligned connection, stable opportunity. Fold the paper and place it somewhere safe. This is not about forcing the universe. It's about giving your nervous system a clear instruction. I am no longer living in ambiguity. I am choosing my next chapter. And Scorpio, because your audience loves a strong anchor, Here's a comment line that's potent without being performative. Type this under your video to increase engagement and signal the algorithm that your viewers are emotionally invested. I accept the 3 blessings meant for me. I choose clarity, truth, and steady abundance. Keep it simple. Make it real. People don't share videos because they're impressed. They share because they feel seen. Now I'm going to say something bold, because Scorpio responds to truth more than comfort. The biggest reason blessings get delayed is not because you're unworthy. It's because you keep reopening doors that your spirit already closed. You keep negotiating with the past. You keep revisiting people who only loved the version of you that abandoned yourself. Tuesday is a turning point because you are finally ready to stop doing that. You don't need revenge. You don't need an apology to move forward. You need closure that comes from within, the kind that says, I release what cannot meet me. I release what cannot hold the truth of me. And that choice changes your timeline. If you're feeling nervous reading this, that's okay. Turning points can feel like fear, because your body is used to bracing for disappointment. But here's the difference. This time, the fear doesn't mean don't move. It means I'm stepping out of the old identity. Your old identity was trained to survive. Your new identity is learning to receive. Receiving is not passive. Receiving is a form of courage, because it requires you to believe you can hold good things without losing yourself. On Tuesday, pay attention to the signs that are actually useful. A repeated phrase, a number that follows you, a dream that leaves a taste in your mouth, a sudden urge to check something you've been avoiding, email, documents, a saved file, a message thread, a drawer, a calendar date. Scorpio is often guided through subtle nudges, not loud announcements. And sometimes the blessing is simply the right information arriving at the right moment so you can make one powerful decision that changes everything later. And if the second blessing, connection, arrives, move slowly. Fated does not mean rushed. Healthy does not demand urgency. Real alignment feels steady. It respects your boundaries. It doesn't punish you for needing time. Scorpio, you don't need to test people with silence or intensity to see if they'll stay. You can simply observe. Do they show up consistently? Do they communicate clearly? Do they respect your emotional depth without trying to control it? That's how you keep your power without building walls that imprison you. The third blessing, material stability, also asks for partnership with reality. If you get an opportunity, respond with presence. If you receive money, use it wisely. If you get clarity, act on it. The universe doesn't just give blessings. It opens doors and you walk through them. That might mean applying, sending the message, making the call, setting the boundary, or finally committing to the plan you keep postponing. Scorpio, your fate moves when you do. And as we near the end of this message, I want to weave in a gentle truth that protects you and your channel without breaking the vibe, because wisdom should feel like silk, not a siren. Let this narrative be a mirror, a possibility, a symbolic weather report for the soul, not a contract carved in stone. Take what resonates, keep what strengthens you, and let the rest drift away like mist at sunrise, because not every message is for every Scorpio, and your free will is sacred. Guidance should never replace your discernment, and spirituality should never pressure you into fear, urgency, or decisions that don't feel grounded in your body's quiet yes. So here's your closing anchor, Scorpio, the one that holds all 3 blessings in the same hand. On Tuesday, December 16th, choose to live as if you are already aligned. Not delusion, alignment. Walk like someone who trusts their intuition. Speak like someone who knows their worth. Rest like someone who understands that peace is part of prosperity. And if you feel the shift, don't keep it trapped inside your chest. Declare it. Comment it. Write it. Claim it softly, like a vow you make to yourself. I receive clarity. I welcome aligned love. I step into stable abundance. Then watch what your life does when you stop doubting the part of you that has been right all along. Stay close, Scorpio. There's a reason the turning points in your life often arrive quietly. The universe knows you don't need noise to be moved. You need truth. And this Tuesday feels like truth finally meeting you face to face, gentle, precise, and undeniably yours.